Welcome, fans, to another special episode of Rangers Ed. This is your host, Cousin Ed, here with my co-host, Little Ed. What's up, bud? Starting off good on mute. Gotta love it.
I'm trying to, just
Keep it
typical
quiet.
me.
I know. The background noise. I know.
During the intro, you can't do the
Yeah.
background noise like Coach Ed during the intro.
Yeah,
We don't have Coach Ed today, so I guess someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah, Coach Ed is on vacation, so he's not here tonight. We miss him. Someone's gonna have to pick up the banter, so maybe Mikey. Maybe you gotta step into Coach Ed's shoes a little.
I will definitely do my best.
Well, we got some notes from Coach Ed for our upcoming interview, so even though he won't be with us for this one, he definitely send us his questions. Sent us his questions.
Yeah, we got a great interview for you guys today. Rob Schremp coming back on the podcast. He previously was on, I think, last year. He's a friend of the pod, really cool dude, and we'll hear some updates from him. Really excited about that after the Rico interview last week. It's good to bring on another person who's drafted to the NHL, pro hockey player. Really excited to hear what he's up to. But before we do that, another exciting thing. So I got a random package in the mail from Suter's Sweet Treats. And I was really excited because I know it's cookies, right? So he was like, but I started eating healthier this week, right? Little Ed, like
Just this
I did
week?
it on my own. He didn't it's been like 9 days since I started. So little Ed didn't force me to do it or pressure me. I really just did it on my own. He kind of inspired me a little bit though. So he gave me this meal plan, and I've been really doing good. I've been sticking to it. No carbs, no sugar. I guess it's keto. I don't really know, but it's something like that. And I've lost 5 pounds.
Little Ed's version of keto.
Yeah, I lost 5 pounds in a week, which is pretty good. And then I get this cookie in the mail, and it's I eat it. I eat it right away, and then I texted him. He's like, "Oh, let's eat it on the pod." And I was like, "Oh, well, I already ate it, so
It's all gone.
you're gonna have to eat it." But anyway, show them the new flavor. So we got a new flavor from Suter's Sweet Treats in the mail.
Yes, Megan Michelle never ceased to amaze us. She came out with a new flavor. Always sending them to us to try out first before she releases them to her clients or customers. And this one's a cinnamon swirl.
Guys.
So she actually made it look like a cinnamon swirl for this one, but I guess you could just use the actual cookie for any design you want, right? So since Coach Ed isn't here, I'll do a quick cookie review for the cinnamon swirl at suitersweettreats.net.
And in Coach Ed fashion, you drop part of the cookie on your lap for those that aren't watching on YouTube.
I was just going to say that.
It's really good, and it reminds me of something, but I can't pick it out. I don't know what it is, but I'll get it. Maybe another bite.
It was so good.
It's really good.
Honestly,
it is really good.
I was in the supermarket a couple weeks ago, and I saw they had they were selling this package to make cookies for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I bought it.
That might be what it is.
I'm gonna give this to my yeah. I was like, I'm gonna bring this home. My wife's gonna make these cookies. It's gonna be delicious. And then,
oh my god,
of course she hasn't made them yet, but Meg sends that, and I was like, this is a sign. What are the odds that I buy that a few weeks ago, and then I get this cookie in the mail, dude? Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It tastes just like it.
That's what it is for sure. Yep. And she even put a vanilla icing on it too, so it's kind of like the milk for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, like I said, Meg never ceases to amaze. She obviously always has the Coach Ed's Doghouse cookie. So if you head over to suitersweettreats.net and use promo code EDPOD23, you can get a free Doghouse cookie with your order and 10% off.
Yeah, and if you guys are worried that you're ordering these cookies and they're coming in the mail or whatever, listen, she ships them to me from Tennessee. I live in Miami, so they come to me and they're vacuum sealed. They're fresh. They come out. They're soft and fresh as if I just came out of a bakery. So she knows how to do it to ship it, long distance, and they sit out in 100-degree heat for 2 hours before I even realize it's there. And nothing. It's fresh. It tastes delicious and.
Little extra bacon.
It's true. No, it's true. Like the one time it didn't. One of the cookies melted. It wasn't a cookie. It was a cake pop. The player just melted into a ball, but it was in my mailbox for 3 days because I didn't check the mail. So that's not her fault. Just check your mail every day.
Definitely not her fault.
Yeah, when you order the cookies, just go to the mailbox every day and look for it. It comes real fresh and good. So check them out, suitorsweettreats.net. Check them out on Instagram. What is it, Mikey? Suitor Sweet Treats on Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram is Suitor Sweet Treats.
Yeah.
One last shout out. I ordered these little special, so Cousin Ed doesn't get jealous. I ordered them.
Okay.
She didn't just send them to me.
All right.
But I'm working on, she sent us the shadow box, but I wanted to make my shadow box more like, not unique, but like geared toward the podcast or whatever. So she sent me a Rangers Ed hat and a Rangers Ed tank top to put in the little Ed shadow box.
That's nice.
So I thought that was hilarious. And what else did she got? She made me the Yeti cup, which you guys can see right here next to me. So she made some things that are a little.
Yeah, but that's a Coach
shadow box.
That's a Coach Ed's doghouse Yeti cup.
Yeah. Oh well, look.
No, yours it was light blue.
I know. Well,
is that
a
sticker?
She didn't get the blue right. Yeah, I just put a sticker on my Yeti cup. So she didn't get the blue right, but close enough.
I thought you were making Coach Ed a light
Mikey,
blue one.
check this one out.
Those
Wet
are
Bandits.
actually super, super duper dope. Wow.
I didn't ask her for this one. She threw this one in and said it took her 2 hours to paint this one. So
I can only imagine. That came out
unbelievable.
Wow.
It's unreal.
Wow.
So shout out
really
to the
cool.
Wet Bandits. Hopefully I'll be making my return in the fall.
What's that?
And,
Hazen and Rihanna on there?
That's hilarious. So yeah, Meg, can't thank you enough as always. You're the best, very talented, and
what is that? A box of cookies?
Also, it's just a box of cookies that I got to put together for my shadow box.
What is that one? What was that? The one on
this
top?
One's like I don't know, like a silhouette of me recording.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
he's just over there ordering custom cookies for his cookie.
I gave her little projects to do, so it's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna
shout out to Meg as always and Michelle. And you fans also, place an order for sure. Like I said, they're delicious. It's not just artwork. It's hard not to eat the ones in my box over here, but they're going into the shadow box. She spent too much effort on them to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Meg. All right, I think we should toss it over to the interview, right?
What about the Laffy news?
Oh, that's right. So Lexi,
let's save that for after the interview. Let's save that for after.
Yeah, let's bring Rob.
Let's jump to Rob. Yeah, let's go. Let's do the good stuff now. There he is.
What's up, Rob?
What's shaking, boys?
Where are you?
Look at you. Look at that background. Can we get a look at that background real quick?
Wow.
So where are you right now? Oh my God.
I'm in Hong Kong. I'm about to catch my ferry over to the city. I live on an island just off of Hong Kong, so take the ferry into the city every day to the office. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Nice. So you moved to Hong Kong semi-permanently, I guess, for now?
Yeah, I'm here for the year. I take a job here, director of hockey operations for a youth program, the Junior Tigers. So I'll be here for the next 10, 11 months, and it's an exciting time.
That's awesome. Fresh start. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How's the hockey over there?
It's developing. Yeah, there's a lot of resources going into it, so there's a lot of interest in our organization. We have about 600 registered players. Out of those 600, I think it's in the range of about 100 to 120 elite players, and then there's a lot of like learn to play, learn to skate, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of there's a lot of interest in it. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a good amount of people, players for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big number. So I'll be kind of overseeing that program and trying to keep 600 registrations organized and happy, and keep them developing.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So you got players from all over, or just from like the Hong Kong, or?
Yeah, the mass majority is local, and then there's some expats that live here, and they're playing. So they just got an email the other day about a player from moving back home, so to speak, from Toronto. He's been in Toronto for the last 10 years, playing double A, triple A. So some of that kind of stuff. So that's exciting to add that, and that young player will be able to bring what he's learned in Toronto back to the group as well. So it's exciting, and it'll be a big help for us.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's great to grow the game, worldwide. So, I don't.
No, it's exciting.
Is there like a lot of international buzz for teams out there? In other words, like in tournaments, you never really see like teams out of Asia or anything like that. Is it starting to grow where they're trying to compete in international tournaments?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have the Olympics being in China, and I think it was 2020, or was it 2000? Yeah, I could be wrong on that. Sorry, but the last Olympics in China really kind of kicked up that interest and the buzz. And now we're doing, with our group, we're doing an Asian Super League. We're playing against 6 other teams in the little league for the youth program. We'll travel there every couple weeks. We'll make a stop, and then all the teams will come in and play like a little tournament thing. So there's that interest, and then we're actually in this group. We're going to the Tournoi de Quebec this year with our group. So there's definitely some interest to kind of get on the international stage and compete at that level. It's a little bit behind, obviously, but that's the point of guys like myself coming here and helping out that grassroots effort and starting from the ground up and helping develop.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. So did you get invited to that tournament in Canada, or is that something like you applied for to get into?
To be honest with you, I'm not positive. My boss, so to speak, Greg Smith, just let me know that we were going. So I didn't know. I wasn't a part of the process. I was on the onboarding stage of my process. And then
where to be.
Exactly. I went to that tournament twice, so I was a big fan of that, going there and having these kids have that experience at that age. It's going to be awesome. So it'll be great for competition and see a different world of competition, so to speak. It'll be great for the kids. And, I had 2 great experiences when I was 12 and 13, so I'm pumped to go back now and coach. It'll be pretty cool.
What was it like for you when you played there?
It was fun. It was so much. There was so much hype around it. The known as the best Pee Wee tournament in the world, and teams coming over from Czech Republic, Russia, all those other countries. It was something at that age. Coming from Fulton, New York, it was like, eye popping, so to speak. It was just crazy to think that that's where we were going and what we were going to go compete against. And personally, it was like a great opportunity. Like, I was pretty brash. I wanted to show that I was the best in the world at that age, and that was a great opportunity to do that.
Definitely. You had the camps over in Slovenia, right?
Yeah, in Bled, Slovenia. Yep.
Yeah. Are you still doing that, or is someone else covering that, or you put it on pause? What's going on with that?
I do that in June every year, so that's just a 1 week, 1 week thing. So it's something I've now year 3 into it. It's been great, kind of making it an annual thing. Those players that started in year 1 are starting to move on to the NAL and the NCDC and getting their spots and getting opportunities over North America, which was a big part of the reasoning behind those camps. Was to help give them some good knowledge and also help them get placed. So that's taking roots, and plan to keep doing it going forward. That rink that we do it at is under construction. I'm sorry for the background chatter.
Okay.
I'm actually impressed with how well the Wi-Fi is holding up as you're walking through a ferry.
Sorry for the viewers. It's probably nauseating. I'm settled down. I'll be settled for the next 25 minutes. So, but yeah, no, that camp was great. In Slovenia, I want to keep doing it. Just the rink is under renovation, so we'll see if we'll be able to do it next year if we'll have to relocate until they get that rink set up. But I like doing that stuff, kind of reaching out globally and doing camp in different areas. I did one in Wisconsin with the Bashaw family. These guys out in Wisconsin by Oshkosh. So I got a chance to go out there and work with some players. So that kind of stuff I really enjoy doing in the off season.
Was that recently or?
Yeah, that was in July, mid-July.
Oh, okay.
Did you get an opportunity to bring any players like with you to Hong Kong to your program? Or does it work anything like that, or
not
you
yet?
said it was mostly just local.
Yeah, mostly local, and then I got to get my footing, my bearings here, and see what's what and how it works,
Right.
and the whole system
course.
sort of thing. That obviously would love to, recruit and have players want to come to the program. Make sure we're doing our job and in developing, and the kids having fun. And I think with all that stuff being said, like that ASL and the Trinity Quebec, I think that'll be a pretty good, I guess, marketing tool for players that want to come play for us.
Yeah. I mean, we hear a little bit of it in the background, but there's got to be a little bit of a language barrier for you. How does that working out?
It's been great, honestly. A lot of people speak very well good English, and it's been pretty fluent.
Even the players?
I've had the players when I came here in March to visit, and it was unbelievable. They came up and it was like barely any accents, and it was really smooth, and that made me excited. So yeah, so that was obviously a concern in the beginning, because that's really tough as a coach. Like, a big thing with coaching is like being able to sort of connect with the player through communication and talking, and say, like, what do you feel like, when you get on that move, like, what's your right edge, and if you're like, what I mean, like broken English, to kind of get to the point, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
But again, the kids are here really smart, and speaking, and not just the kids, the population in general. It's like there's been no problem. So I've been here for 4 or 5 days, and I've been able to get around. There's been no issue. Just one bus driver yelled at us because my wife and I tried to get on early. that was hilarious. We got scolded.
Did you go out for any Chinese food yet?
Yeah, we went yesterday. Had some. There's great food here. Yeah, the dining here is unbelievable. So the food's great.
Yeah,
we love.
Yeah,
we love
you can enjoy
food,
that.
So. Yeah,
that's great.
Really cool.
That's cool, man. Wow, what a. I was not expecting you to say that. I mean, it's a really interesting thing. Like, you always hear people talk about grow the game, but mostly they're talking about taking. I guess certain coaching styles maybe to, from like Norway and bringing it here, or, combining efforts from Europe and North America. So it's really interesting to hear, that they're trying to grow the game in Asia. I think that's great.
Well, I was thinking it's more of like, it's even a challenge here in the United States to grow the game. That's the first thing I naturally think of growing the game, like whether it's like in different states around the country or Canada and whatever, you never think about Asia or any like smaller countries in Europe, I guess, and you're doing it all.
There's a lot of people that live there too, right? So it's a big market,
like insane amount of people.
Yeah, there's a lot, and with their culture, it's a really disciplined and hardworking. So that's a good combination to have in something like this. And I think when you talk grassroots, it's really about time and committing time to that effort. A lot of times when you're talking grassroots, some of these initiatives, it's like we'll pop in for 2 weeks and try to give them a bunch of stuff, and hopefully they take on to it. And I think that's it's tough to have success with that sort of thing. Coming here for the year, at least a year, committing to it. That's these kids will be able to give them as much as I possibly can inside that time frame. And who knows, future looking, maybe I'll be here longer. So I think it's just about spending time together and getting those sort of I'd say like transfer of knowledge, transfer of culture. It's different what we're used to in back in North America, what we've been instilled at a young age in youth hockey all the way up to when you make it to the NHL. So it's, you can't upload or you can't download that in a week. It takes time.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Yeah.
Kind of invest that.
What's been your main focus? You've said you've only been there 5 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you haven't, this might be a question you can't answer yet, but are you mainly focused on, you said they're like a very disciplined culture. So are you just focusing on the skills of the game, or are you going to focus more on the strategy of the game? Like, what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge coaching over there?
Yeah, I think like just the strategy of the game. Understanding situational stuff, understanding team concept, and then you got to be understanding of what does it mean to be an individual inside of a team concept. What does that mean? What are the barriers? And sometimes that box or that framework changes from coach to coach in some regard, but there is like a certain set of things, like there's certain standards that you have to have as a teammate before you can do individual stuff, or certain expectations of where to be, when to be there. Just that kind of stuff, I think, is the most important thing in the beginning. And then just my big focus is going to be teaching the kids like what each space of the ice means, and what is dangerous and what is, what you can get out of each spot of the ice. And just trying to break the ice up into like a chessboard and really focus on those points of like, hey, this is, each situation, each piece of the ice, excuse me. There's always those things. There's a lot of predictability, and there's a lot of things that always happen the same way in these certain pieces of the ice. And that big thing is just teaching them that, and then let them have a little bit of creativity with it, but also help them give them some guidance and teach them how to execute in these areas. So, just certain things like a winger, you got to be in certain places at certain times. You can't be cheating for breakaways. That kind of like little tangibles, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff with video too. So it's going to be fun to, I think the video component will really help them expedite development a lot with their hockey IQ and understanding of the game, and then the kind of the accountability from my end of it as a coach.
I was going to say, go ahead, Mike.
You're going to make me buy a flight out there so you can coach me up a little bit.
Let's go, buddy.
I was going to say a lot of your Instagram videos are some skills. I don't know. There's not a lot of strategy on there, but I guess you're going to have to change that up. But
I don't think no. But that's the thing for me. This is going to be fun because I like that side of it. I love the preparation, the strategy of the game. For me playing for Dale Hunter in London, watching him like make changes on the fly was unreal, and a great thing for me to learn from. Like, he was never really set on. We had a game plan going in. If it was getting kind of, the other team was finding ways to get momentum, or we were, kind of backpedaling, like he could make a switch in a second of like different tactics, different things. I really always enjoyed that part of it, and now I'm excited to be able to do that with some players and with the team concept and strategy. But yeah, I don't think Instagram's the place to start posting up your 1-2-2 videos and your
not quite videos. No. Yeah, that's all highlight reels.
You made an interesting point there. Actually, I want to circle back. You said you're teaching them how to be an individual within a team concept. I really love that. Never heard it quite put like that before. And it not to make you talk about the Rangers, which I'm sure you haven't paid any attention to, but it makes me think of, these young kids on the Rangers. This is some of them, it'll be their third coach in like 3 or 4 years. And, a lot of fans are just frustrated with the lack of, development and scoring, and like Kakko and Lafreniere and Hedl. Hedl took a step last year, but it's got to be challenging for them to have a third coach with a new team concept, right? I mean, every coach is bringing his own kind of team concept, right? Other than the general hockey team concepts that exist naturally in the game. I'm just curious if you think that would be a challenge as a young player to have a third coach in 4 or 5 years.
I think the biggest thing is the boundaries, with having 3 coaches in 3 years, understanding what their boundaries are. And like, I don't know, it's kind of getting to that point of like, are they accountable? Is it always going to be, we don't reach a certain expectation and then we just change the guy steering the boat? It's kind of tough. So that's one thing. I mean, generally, I guess personally, I think about concern for as a player. No, it's not hard to do. I think we all want to be held to a certain accountability standard and then pushed. I think that's, at least I know that's personally, I can say that. I don't know how these players are. I don't know them personally, all of them. So,
right. Sure.
It's tricky because again, they're changing coaches all the time. They're not hitting what their expectations are. And then it's a new coach, and, the coaches coming through have a good rapport, so to speak. I don't think there's really been a hard one. I think Gerard is pretty firm, but he's also been well known as a player's coach. So I don't know the answer to that question. I think I'm kind of spinning around the question, trying to find the answer, thinking of it.
Well, I was more so asking from like your perspective, if it was you, because you've been there before. You were a young player, drafted high in the draft, first round pick. You talked about it last time you were on the show. You were on the third line, you were on the fourth line, trying to make your way. So some of these players have been buried on the third line. It just kind of, I can see a parallel, I guess, and I like to push to the fans, when a young player is playing on the third line, he's not necessarily in a scoring role. He's not getting power play time. He's not going to score 80, 90 points. That's not his role. He's playing within the team concept. His role is as a third liner, right? To forecheck, hustle, bring energy, different kind of shift. Yeah. So I don't know. I saw a parallel there.
Well,
I thought maybe
the thing is, like Pat Morris said it to me, back in our days when we were working together. Every player can produce or will likely produce if given the same chance in the NHL as they were given in junior or wherever they came from. And that's, you see that in the NHL a lot. Like, just to play there, you got to adapt and take a different role. So, you see a lot of it with the fans, like, oh, you had such a good junior career. What happened to your pro career? But it's not an excuse. It's just a matter of fact. Well, in junior, some guys are playing 25 minutes, 27 minutes as a forward. And they go to play pro and they're playing 7 to 10. Like, it's a big adjustment. And also, like, your role changes. So, it's kind of Captain Obvious to say, but like, you can't say that to, why aren't you producing like before? It's like, well, I'm not given the same opportunities before. And when you go to the NHL, you got bigger dogs. You know what I mean? You got so you're a young buck. You think you're better than Zibanejad? Or you think you're better than an Aaron? You think you're better than Foxy? Right. Like, who are you better than? Like, these guys are studs, right? Like, it's such a tough market. It's such a tough, dynamic. So it's, and it's not easy as a general manager or as a coach either. Like, it's the same thing. Like, all these players coming in, they're all studs. And you're like, okay, like, you got to make it, you don't have a ton of time. Like, you get to training camp. That's why it's really important, the urgency for the players to bring your best in training camp. You just can't have any rust on your hands. You can't have any rust on anything when you come to training camp, because that's sort of that first impression. Even if you've been there for 3 years, it doesn't matter. Like, first impression in the third year is like, hey, the friend is ready. Look at him. He's got another step in his stride, or look at the way he's snapping it. Something along those lines. It's like still a first impression. So that's the first impression to the season. And then, you get slotted in, and then let's say after whatever, the season starts October, I think it's 7th or 10th, and then there's usually there's some patience from the coach's side of it. Like, they're not going to start changing everything up 2 or 3 games in. So there's like a 10-game block of like how things will generally work from what they've got slotted in and planned. So anyways, I know it's kind of spinning again, but it's really important to navigate as a player. And even if you were third line last year, you're ready to go at camp.
Yeah, no, dude, that's my fault. We went from talking about you coaching in China to me asking you about some random players on the Rangers while you're, that was a great answer. It's, honestly, I did some, after you said you were in China, I was trying to find out if anyone's ever played in the NHL who's born in mainland China. And it turns out there was a draft pick of the Islanders. I don't know if you know this. And Andong Song was a 6th round pick in 2015 by the Islanders. It doesn't look like he appeared in the NHL, but first player drafted from mainland China. So hopefully there's some more coming. I think that's I didn't even know that,
because it'll be the mark of my success, I guess.
Absolutely.
Well, you got any other kids on their way, or
people on the map?
Yeah, any other kids to look out for in the drafts coming up?
Sorry, it broke up a little bit.
Oh, I said, is there any other kids that you've been working with that are on the map for the draft coming up?
Draft eligible? Not immediate future, to be honest with you. Nothing right now. Coming up here, not next year. No, not nothing that's going to be on the map. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. A couple younger kids that are, see how they develop.
Rob, I wanted to bring it back to like what you've been doing personally, I guess. You mentioned before like the importance of what you want to bring in as like video to these kids and whatnot. I mean, is that something that you're doing with the Space Force program or your company that you started, or is that something, or is that kind of on hold for now?
Say that again. Sorry, it broke up a little bit. I apologize.
You mentioned it's okay, no worries. You mentioned before that you were trying to bring like the video aspect to these kids and letting them watch, I guess, different skills and different concepts through video. Is that what you've been trying to develop through the Space Force hockey program, or are you kind of putting that on hold for now that you had to make the move?
Yeah. the Space Force, it's just kind of the stuff that I've been doing in the little tangibles of the game. It's been a way of doing it through scale in a unique way through the community. NFTs are kind of coming through. It's a new buzzword, so to speak. Not so interested in the NFT space, so to speak, but it's more about how do I help a scale amount of people and share my knowledge. And that's how we came to that idea of doing Space Force hockey, and using NFT would be like a door ticket to get in. Because you just how do you set a value? There's only certain ways to do business side of things of hockey, like a subscription model or something along those lines. Doing it with an NFT, it kind of made it cool where, let's say your player comes in for 2 or 3 years, learns a bunch of stuff through the videos and through the Hockey IQ stuff and the drills and tips. And then you want to, resell that door ticket, so to speak. It has value, and it can raise in value. Not like we're talking about the meme coins and all that stuff where it goes from, 0.0001 cent to $100. That's not the value we're talking about. We're talking about if you come in for $200 and learn a bunch of stuff, and then in 3 or 4 years you want to resell it for $500 or $600, like that would be the value of the project.
Okay, so I mean, I think you kind of missed the first part of the question when we were breaking up there. Is that something you're bringing with you to Hong Kong, or you have people back taking care of that and kind of getting that going for you?
Yeah, I've had Flux 88 behind the project the whole time in School U, so they've been my support cast in the project. So that they're still around, still going, and having that community still go is important. So it's still kicking. So it takes effort. It takes a team to do these kind of projects. So it hasn't been just me the whole time, which is great. Also not the biggest tech guy, so that the NFC minting NFTs and marketing and doing all that stuff. Flux 88's been a really big supporter along with School U. So that's still going.
So I guess now I have to tie it back into the Rangers. I mean, they just hired a new skills coach, and I mean, there's a lot of buzz around the NHL as far as player development. I mean, there's new jobs popping up everywhere. I mean, how important was that? Was that around when you were playing, like coming up through the ranks that Cousin Ed was just talking about? Or is that kind of a new thing?
It's always been around. It used to be kind of director of player development or some sort of title like that, player development. Now it's called the skills coach. I think we were allergic to the word skills, 10 or 15 years ago. That would equal soft and, not hard enough for the game. So now we can call it a skills coach and call it what it is. And but no, we had it back then. But a little bit back then, it was a little bit more. I don't think it was defined as much. It was just random and kind of ex-players that were trying to get their footing and would take that role and kind of come around and see the prospects and stuff like that. So it was a little bit different. I think now it's getting more defined of like, okay, we're gonna have a skills coach and we're gonna do like, here's our schedule. We're gonna map it out and then have it be more specific. I think I remember our time back. It was such a long time ago, my rookie year in pro, but it was like, it'd just be like simple stuff like goal line drives, tight turns. Now it's very specific, like stick handle, like, these movements. I think Adam Oates has done a great job of kind of, I'd say Adam Oates and Daryl Belfry have really kind of developed that individual player focus and with specific skills. And now that's getting implemented at an NHL level in their schedule and on their payroll.
Would face-offs be one of those skills? Because Coach Ed couldn't be with us tonight. He's on vacation right now, but he sent us a question for you. He's been literally talking about this since our last interview. He's been dying to ask you, and he's been asking everyone since then, what is the face-off rule? And why do centers constantly get thrown out, or the referee fakes it, or what exactly is the rule or the process of a face-off in the NHL, I should say?
So in the D zone, the defensive team goes down first, and you got to be in those white lines on the face-off circle. So what happens is the defensive player will put his stick down, like faking putting, or they won't put their still, like hover the ice, and eventually the ref is like, that's get out. Or the other thing is that on the offensive side, the offensive player, he's supposed to come down second, but he has to come down, right? So what these guys try to do is they try to time it with the ref's hand. So they'll never actually put their stick down. And eventually the ref is like, okay, get out. First of all, it's cheating. And the second thing is to think about if you're dropping a puck and you're the linesman, and this guy's trying to time your hand. Like, you're so close to getting whacked all the time. So that's why they get really pissed off. And they're like, you know what I mean? You see them get grumpy with guys. And sometimes guys, like, there's like marks on the face off, right? You got that like upside down L almost in an R shape, right? So your feet have to stay in those hash marks. That's where your feet stay, and that's your placement. And a lot of guys, you'll see them torque their body. So if it's on the right side and I'm right side of the net, we're looking out in the neutral zone. I'm on the right side of the net. I'm a lefty, and I'm taking the draw on the right side. A lot of guys, what they'll do is as a lefty, they'll take the right side of their body and they'll twist it like to the forward on the right side. So they're literally like shouldering the ref. And he's like, buddy, get up. You know what I mean? Like, that's why these guys get rattled. And then the other side of it is when, eventually once, if you're the defensive side, this guy keeps cheating, you're losing draws. Like, that's in the NHL. Like, that's your livelihood. Like, playing with Zenon Konopka, like, that was his big thing, his face-offs. Like, his big thing was being over 60% face-offs. So he was on the refs all the time, not like calling them names and saying, but like working with them, like, hey man, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's so important. And this guy's cheating. That's what I mean. Even if they're not cheating, you do play the game a little bit, like, just pull the false alarm just to get some, like, hey sir, you see him looking at me, you know what I mean? Call him sir and say some nice things to him and try to get him on your side. So
Well, we finally got an answer. We finally got a straight answer on how it works. So Coach Ed's going to be happy.
So if I understand I'm just curious, those markings around the dot, if you're lining up for the draw, you got to put your stick on the ice, like inside that L marking.
No,
that little like hollow
the L
spot.
Of your feet. Yeah, exactly. So inside the red dot, there's a red circle. There's white little, like, how do I say it? It's like
a slice of pie almost.
Slice of pie, exactly.
Something like that.
Right.
Your stick is on the side of the net. That's
on each side of the players.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So your feet got to be on those marks, and then your stick's supposed to be. That's supposed to be. It's all about bending the rules and breaking the rules.
Yeah.
I missed the piece of pie part. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Coach. You got your answer.
So maybe that girl, I think her name was Meg with the cookies. Maybe she can make some of those and start doing a hockey educational piece.
There you go.
Great idea.
Yeah, there you go. That is good.
She's listening to this now, Rob. So don't be surprised if you get some cookies showing up in Hong Kong.
Yeah. We're gonna need.
I don't know if that'll make it through customs, but we'll give it a shot.
We need Rob to do our marketing ideas here. That's great, though.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, if you just look at your Instagram, you should have applied for the Rangers skills coach. They can use some of your skills too. If you guys haven't checked out Rob's Instagram, you got to check him out. What is your Instagram again? It's Rob Schremp, right? Just one word?
Yep. Underscore.
Yeah.
Rob underscore Schremp.
Rob underscore Schremp. SCHREMP. Check him out and check out all the skills he's got on there, and you can see all the stuff he's doing with youth hockey.
Yeah, he's got the link for the Space Force hockey on there as well. So is there anything else, Rob, you want to plug or talk about before? It sounds like you got to get moving. Getting yelled at again.
No, it's all good. I got time. I got a little commute here, but I'm excited about this Junior Tigers program over here and doing the Quebec tournament and having a chance to be day to day on the ice with players and kind of get a clean slate here to implement my philosophies on hockey in a program. So it's actually a great opportunity. I'm really excited about that. I'm sure there'll be some maneuvering or some adjusting, but there's a lot of things that I think about the game, and I get to have a chance to see it from the ground up here in a program from U7 learn to skate all the way up to elite U20 and there's some men's league here stuff too, CIHL. So hopefully make an advancement in that as well to get these players developing at the higher levels as well. So that's that. And I've taken on a role too with Locker Token. It's a new company, and they're doing some really cool stuff with NFTs and teams. They're doing I like the way it works. Pat Curcio is an ex-London Knight guy that I've been buddies with for a long time, and it's been a really interesting project where it's just a really cool way for fans to interact with the clubs. So the club will bring on our product, and then you get fan interaction during the game. So let's say it's there's 34 home games in an OHL season, so every game there'll be a special NFT the fans can get, for example, one of the NFTs, if you get it, you could be one of the few people to get to select the starting 5 lineup. Things like this, little interaction things that are really intriguing and revenue generating for organizations. So we got a couple
like
projects on the go. Yeah,
in a way,
exactly. In a way, yeah.
I got an NFT for Henrik Lundqvist night. I still got that somewhere.
Nice.
And you're the only one that has it, right?
Yeah. Oh, one of like 99 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
One of Wayne.
Yeah. No, I mean that's really cool, man. I mean it's always important to just keep changing and attracting different fans in new ways. I mean, we're trying to do that all the time on our show. So I mean, we really appreciate you coming on. I know it was tough to schedule, but we definitely want to hear more about this. So we'll have to catch up with you in like a month or two and see how you're doing over there.
Yeah, dude, you're kind of like a pioneer,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not just incredible. Like sucking up to you, man. It's pretty cool. I mean, is there any other like pro players over there that are involved, or is it just something that it's like really fresh?
Yeah, there's some people. There's some guys in China, in mainland China. There's some ex players, and you see a little bit of European influence coming this way, and I think it's really good for the game here. I think that's. Things like back home in North America, it's very saturated with this sort of line, and I think it's turned into a lot more business than it is about development in some regards. So it's a little bit of that where you'll see even in Europe, same thing. Some guys are starting to come here, and for like someone like myself, I like that clean slate and being able to develop a program is what's fun. Not I use my Instagram just to, show people what I kind of am up to and a little bits and pieces of what I kind of know about the game. But what's genuinely gratifying to me is something of this regard on a program level, being able to, create a culture and an understanding of the game and implement things and also kind of guide it through and not just, come here and hand them a playbook. I get to be here on a day-to-day basis and see, where the pain points are, and then, hopefully give the proper information to help them get better and spend the time teaching them.
Yeah, I wish you a lot of luck, man. That's really awesome. I hope it goes really well.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you have any like short-term or long-term goals for the program or for the kids? Or, I mean, obviously, I guess the NHL or getting a draft pick or something along those lines would be phenomenal, but, something more realistic that you can see yourself attaining within the next year or two.
Yeah, I've been digging into this a lot over the summer and making what I thought, it's very tough to think that way of like, you get that pressure a little bit of like, okay, what do I got to do here thing. And I talked to my cousin, Chris Schremp. He's actually he's a manager of partnerships at YouTube. And I'm reading a book over the summer, and they started talking about OKR systems. And it's something that they implement in their business model. But I thought about it for a hockey model, and that's something we're going to use here. And it's about small wins, and it's, for the season, something along the lines of, on a scale for the whole organization, 10% better on whatever it might be, skating, 10% better. What's that mean? So I'm shooting for those goals, shooting and scoring goals, 20% better. And on how do we get there? And you knock it down. So it's really, I'm looking like that because it is daunting and intimidating when you think, oh, I got to create an NHL player or I got to create an NCAA player. What does that even mean? And it's very far out there. And it's also like, how would you get there? You got to organize. So I really feel confident with this system and the way we're going to do it this year and how I plan on implementing that with the coaches too. So the coaches it's not daunting for the coaches. Like it's going to be mapped out. Like this is our targets, hero zones for the year. And here I'm going to help you and support you with the drills that I think will fit. And then again, like you put those drills in, and sometimes like over the weekend, let's say, next week we planned on doing skills and and then over the weekend we couldn't break the puck out. Like you got to be able to, change on the fly and say, okay, no, we're going to work on breakouts next week. We're going to do, wingers positioning, D making the passes, so that kind of stuff. So we have a general plan right now, but that's like I said, spending the time here to see what the pain points are and adjusting. So long answer for you there, but that's something where I'm looking forward to, help the program get, better by percentages in certain categories.
No, it's exactly the answer I was looking for. Like you said, it's daunting to think of like that far into the future. So that's why I wanted you to talk about something more realistic or shorter term, and you hit it perfectly. So
yeah,
very attainable goals for the kids, and you don't want to intimidate them either. I mean, you want to give them dreams, obviously, right? But at the same time, you want them to stay within their level.
Got to get them to love the game.
Stay in their lane a little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Small wins and then walking through the process and like communicate. That's what I mean about the communication. So it's like if you can't communicate that, like while it's going on and you're trying to reach those goals, like it's constant encouragement, right? Like, hey buddy, last week you couldn't even turn left. Like this week you know what I mean? Like you're turning left on one foot. Like it's if you can't tell them that, it's like if there's a language barrier there, like you're like it's frustrating and like suffocating. So it's actually like I think this
that's
a great opportunity here.
Yeah, man. Well, I've no doubt that you're going to be successful, obviously, with your love of the game and knowledge of the game. So I hope you really enjoy it and make an impact over there. It's great. It's a great thing you're doing. Grow the game, dude.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and taking your ferry ride to talk with us.
No problem. We can make this a habit if you want.
We'll do ferry rides with Schremp.
Yeah, like it would be a new segment.
Yeah.
Weekly segment, boys. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Love it. Love
it.
it.
We'll be in touch. We'll work something out.
Yeah, we got to get you one of Meg's cookies.
Share a cookie. Once a week, we'll share a cookie from Meg.
No, we should we should bring Hockey Night in New York. We should merge an episode with them and bring you on. I heard you were on their pod recently.
That'd be cool.
We're friendly with as much as we can be with Islander fans, right?
You got to toe a fine line there, boys.
Absolutely. We got a paintball match coming up against them.
Oh yeah,
it'd be hilarious. Like doing a weekly pod together, and then like it comes to game time, like when you guys play each other, you guys are brawling in the stands. You see like flash on Instagram, like crazy Islander and Rangers fans duking it out. It's you guys.
Yeah.
That's how we no news or with no press is bad press, right? Or
no news is bad news. That's it. I think that's what they say.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right, dude.
All right, Rob, we'll let you go. Get to work, and good luck today with the boys.
Absolutely.
And we'll definitely catch up. We'll be in touch, and we'll definitely get something, some content going. Thank you.
Thanks again, man.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great day.
Have a good one, brother. That was incredible, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you don't really think about hockey in Asia. I mean, I know there are some, well, technically part of Russia is in Asia, but it's, as far as I understand, it's like Siberia. But I know the KHL, the KHL has some Asian teams. Mike, can you look that up? I don't know if they're in China. But I knew that
one. I think like the Red Star team is in China. I want to say.
Yeah, there's one KHL team at least in Asia.
Yeah,
Red Star.
Yeah. Wow, where do they play? Beijing.
Yep. Yes, they do.
So there's hockey there, but I just don't really think of it as like imagine that Asia becomes a factory for the draft. I mean,
there's a lot of people, man. If it's a game of numbers, you're gonna get something.
But they're already saying, there's too much talent already for the NHL, and there's 32 teams, 20 guys on a team. What is that? 640 players.
Where's Robertson?
So they're already
from?
Saying
his heritage. I know he's Canadian, but I think
he's not. None of those guys were like born there, though. So like Nick Suzuki and Robertson have Asian heritage. I think Suzuki's Japanese. I don't remember Robertson, but I know he has a heritage. Maybe I just Filipino.
I'll figure it out. I think you're right. I think Filipino sounds right, but
I just looked it up. So he's Filipino. He's Filipino. Nick Suzuki, Matt Dumba. There are players in the NHL who are of some form of Asian descent, but there isn't any that were born in like mainland Asia and then made it to the NHL. Like Yao Ming in the NBA when he did, that was a huge deal. So just thinking about that and that, Schremp has a chance to really impact how those kids develop. And, if hockey does grow there, he's going to be the pioneer that went over there and grew it.
For sure.
That's That's really, really cool. And I do wish him a lot of luck. That's a really cool thing to do. And it's exciting,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He was saying when we were trying to set up this interview, we're going back and forth for it feels like a couple of months now with him trying to find the right schedule works for everyone. And when he said he was going to be in Hong Kong, I kind of just assumed he was on vacation. I didn't really ask him like, "Oh, why are you there?" Whatever. I was like, "Oh, whatever, boys. He's going to be in Hong Kong. Like, hopefully, we get a connection." Next thing I know, he's the director of hockey operation.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And he had a better connection than Rico did in Florida.
No, Rico's in his truck
right?
in Chicago. And
Chicago.
Rob was on a ferry in Hong Kong. And Rob had
sounded great.
Crystal clear.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I could hear the lady on the loudspeaker telling the next stop on the ferry is.
Oh, I was dying. But that is interesting that he's saying there's really not much of a language barrier. That's
I was
really...
shocked. I thought we were going to get Schrempy talking some Mandarin on here or something.
Yeah, so if you guys check it out,
by the end of the year,
you can Google Hong Kong Junior Tigers. There's a whole website here about camps and learning to play and all the different teams that exist. Apparently, it's pretty popular there. I mean, it looks like 600-700 kids. He said so. Wow, I'm definitely gonna. I mean, we got to follow up with him and see how that's going. I'm really curious how
Check out this post on Instagram. He made the preseason post with all the camps and everything. He's right there. The Junior Tigers. They probably have dope jerseys.
Yeah, they probably do. We got to get a Junior Tigers jersey.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Schremp, send me over a Junior Tigers jersey. I'll trade you
logo,
for one of Meg's
The
cookies.
logo is pretty cool, dude. Did you look at that logo? It's a pretty cool logo.
It's really cool, man. These jerseys are just really cool.
Take out the Junior Tigers. Just that tiger. It's like a tiger. I don't know how to describe it for the fans. It's like it's back of his head's on fire and his mouth's open. He looks like aggressive. It's a really cool tiger. I think about like America, like some of these college teams. Like I saw like one of these colleges down the road in Florida here. I think their mascot was like the Peacocks or something. Like, you imagine being on the football team.
Yeah.
Like, who are you playing today? We're playing the Peacocks.
We're gonna have to ask them. We're gonna have to ask them next time because there's a senior Tigers, and they play in a.
We got to get Coach Ed to go to China and play for the senior Tigers.
It's like professional, dude. They won they were the champions of the 2023 Hockey Fives International A Division with 12 current and former Junior Tiger coaches on the roster. Many of our players and families were there to watch. So it looks like there's like a semi-pro or professional senior Tigers team.
Yeah. Well, really cool stuff.
So that makes sense because they have like the Junior Islanders here. I mean, obviously on a different level, different scale, but you know what I mean?
But they're not
they have the Junior Tigers and the Senior Tigers. No, neither are the Junior Islanders. The Junior Islanders are just like a travel team here on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you again, Rob, if you end up listening to this, for coming on and talking about this. It's really interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing how it's going and how the kids develop, and what kind of parts of the game. Dude, I played hockey for almost 20 years, and I had no idea that there was a piece of pie in the face-off dot where you're supposed to put your stick. Did we have that in youth hockey? I don't remember that in juniors.
I wouldn't say it's on every rink, but I mean, it is a thing. But I would say it's the first I'm hearing that it was like a mandatory, or that's what it was supposed to be for. I mean, it makes sense because it wouldn't just be there
for no reason, unless they're saving on some paint.
I mean,
did you know that rule? You didn't know that rule. Coach didn't.
No, I didn't. But I know the little
Nobody.
pieces exist. I could picture it. Yeah, it's in this one. If you just Google
At
hockey,
first, I
and if you
thought
go
he
to
was saying to
images,
put it inside the L, and I'm like, what? How does that work? Like that's
no,
under
the
the
L's for
dot.
your feet.
Well, yeah, but I just wanted to clarify because it's like they're under the dot, so it's like you're not putting your stick. Like I was like, what is he saying? But then when he said the piece of pie, I must have missed that when he first explained it. But that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Now we're gonna know.
I'm glad. Yeah, somebody finally explained it to us. It only took a couple of years, but
I mean, we asked about. I think we've asked how many people have we asked that question to? I don't even know.
Quite a bit at this point. We asked our
pros. We've asked professional players,
referees.
guys drafted
That's
into the
it.
league, referees. We've been asking everybody.
Coach
Now
had asked literally in person everywhere we go. Anytime he talks to a hockey player, or
we asked the NHL Network analysts.
Yeah, NHL Network analysts.
We asked everybody, dude, and Schremp's the only one who knew.
That's so funny.
It is. But anyway, you wanted to. I don't want to change the topic too quick unless there's something else you want to say. But you want to talk about Laffy's comments the other day or this morning, actually.
Yeah.
So
it's important to discuss.
Yeah. So Laffy, he gave an interview. I just had it open, and of course, I googled the Junior Tigers, so now it's not open anymore. So Laffy gave an interview, and he pretty much said, I'll paraphrase until I can find the exact quote. But he said that he'll be signing soon. He loves New York. He loves the fans. He's not going anywhere. He's signing in the next couple weeks. I just don't know why he wouldn't have already signed. I don't know why he needs to make those comments. I don't know. I mean, anything on that? I'll look for the real quote that I had open, but
I feel like he's probably just giving the fans a little assurance, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the team wanted him to release something just to calm the media down and stuff. It's just getting a little annoying at this point. I mean, it gets to a point where then it's counteractive on the player too. It makes it look like he's holding out. That could be a rumor that could start. So I think it was important or a good thing that he probably should have done it sooner, to be honest. So, I mean, I'm hoping that wasn't a bad thing where it took this long for the Rangers to give him some assurance, but who knows?
Yeah, so here's the quote. He said, "It's coming. My agent and the Rangers are in discussions. I hope it will be settled in the next few weeks." So then he later was asked if he was happy with the Rangers, and he said, "I love playing there. I love the city, the fans, the arena. Playing in Madison Square Garden is amazing, especially in the playoffs. Many expect his bridge deal to be for 2 years with an average annual value of around $2.5 million." So good to get Laffy in at $2.5 million. Bad that he's only commanding $2.5 million because that means he's not commanding a Jack Hughes 8x8. I mean, so it's a double-edged sword, right? He breaks out like that, and we don't have him, or we don't have Trocheck, or we don't have this, or we don't have that. So, look, just get him locked up, get him signed, and let's get to training camp. I'm ready for camp to start at this point. But there was also, I was reading something the other day, and now the coach isn't here. We could talk about this. Philip Hedl was picked as a breakout candidate in 23-24. So you guys I'm not going to tell you the source.
By who? Yeah, you have to.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you the source yet. But
Can I guess?
I'm just gonna tease it. If you guys want to Google it on your own, go for it.
I'm not going to Google it. Was it Larry Brooks?
No. But I just want Coach, when you listen to this, this is how we're gonna know if Coach actually listens to the episodes. By the way,
there's no chance.
He drives around a lot for his job too, and
he's gonna listen. He's gonna want to hear Schremp.
Yeah, so I just want Coach, if you're listening, send me a text that says that Hedl will not be a breakout candidate not be a breakout star next year. That's the test to see if coach listens. Anyway. So yeah, great interview, boys. Also more
phenomenal
news.
interview.
I wanted to bring up. I got in touch with Oscar. He's got my jersey. It's ready to go. He will be sending it, and we will, do something special with the jersey. So you guys will get to see it. It's not a Patrick Kane jersey. It's a very, fans. Little Ed is the commissioner of my jersey curse, which I've been begging him to release from me. Like I'm ready to give up the fact that there's a jersey curse. I'm ready to give it up.
Go for it.
Fine.
If you're confident, I'll do it.
Maybe that's why he just brought up the breakout candidate.
It has to be with a star player, though. I got to test it with a star player. For example, I know we're not supposed to do this, but like if the Mets sign Shohei Ohtani, like I'm buying his jersey. Like I'm not gonna not buy his jersey. How am I gonna not do? I didn't have a Jacob deGrom jersey for all these years, and he blew his arm out every single season, and I refused to buy his jersey because I might jinx him, and he still left as a free agent, still blew his arm out. You know what I mean? So it's like, what am I doing? Like I'm just not
making
jerseys
some good
of players.
arguments.
Yeah, I'm just like not buying jerseys of players I like. It's like I'm over it. But anyway, this is an older player who's retired. So it's a really special jersey. One of my favorite players growing up, and it's gonna be awesome. So looking forward to that. Check out Oscar at Oscar's PSH on Instagram for all your jersey needs. I make it soccer jerseys now. If you're a Lionel Messi fan, I think I saw that.
He made a bunch,
Yeah, I saw that too.
He is dude. People are going crazy about Inter Miami right now. If you care, but crazy.
No,
it's insane.
Well, quick before we go into that, he also made our golf towels for the our golf outing a couple weeks ago. So he's able to embroider. He's able to embroider stuff now. So he's also going to be making our hats and whatever else we want to drop for merch. So Oscar's going to be a busy man this season, making jerseys and some Rangers ed, and he's making his own merch
commit
too.
To that?
I hope so. We shared a golf cart, and we had a lot of talks, a lot of discussions. It was a long 18 holes for Oscar.
Couple beers, couple cigars. And then Oscar's committed to them being the merch, the Rangers head merch guy. Little Ed's got that charm, like you spend a couple hours with him, you sign your life away.
That's it. Commissioner merch.
Oh man.
What were you saying? Inter Miami, they're doing pretty good, huh?
No,
they're going to sell their tickets or what?
No, so Milo's saying that like they're in the finals or something. I'm like, wait, what is MLS going on? So I looked it up. Apparently, there's this thing called the Leagues Cup, which is a tournament in North America, and all the MLS teams are individually playing as a team in the Leagues Cup, and Inter Miami's in like the semifinals. They're playing Canadian, Mexican, and American teams, and then they have to push back the start of the Major League Soccer season because Inter Miami's doing so good. Messi has 8 goals in 5 games, which in soccer is a lot of goals.
That's insane.
That is, yeah. He's like, none of these guys can compete with him. It's like just like a bunch of second and third tier soccer players, and he's just dominating.
But he's like the best. He's literally the best player in the world.
But then I saw this thing about not to make this a soccer thing, but soccer is just a crazy sport. Ronaldo, you guys know that?
Like if McDavid went to go play in the KHL.
Yeah, Ronaldo signed in like some Saudi Arabia or something
for like a couple
$1 billion. Dude.
Yeah,
he's crazy. Just playing. He's playing in that league, dominating. The team he plays for wins every game. He scores like all these goals, and he makes $1 billion.
It's insane.
That's insane. That is so much money.
It doesn't make any sense. Just proves that money's not real.
Yeah. So I don't know the exact contract, but it comes out to close to like $1 billion, his contract. So, it's a 2.5 year contract for $200 $315 million per season. So at the end of the contract, he'll have earned close to $1 billion.
So it's an AAV of 315 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Laffy's going to get 2.5.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He's lucky.
That's crazy.
Oh, my God. Anyway. All right. Well, there's not much to argue about without Coach Ed here. So.
No. Before we sign off, I wanted to remind everyone to head over to the Instagram to vote on our Hall of Fame teams if you haven't already. I've been posting them up there, so check them out and go back to listen to that episode. It was a great episode. Yeah, a lot of laughs in that one. That was a fun one. So check those out, and like I said, don't forget to vote. And
yeah, that's fine. But also remember, when you look at mine, that it's incorrect because Eric Carlson was the captain of Ottawa at one point.
Yeah,
so I actually have 3.
I made the post. I made the post with the correction. You saw it.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did
on the story. I did.
Okay.
So
because I was texting little Ed. I'm like, this is rigged.
This is rigged.
Yeah. So hey, you got a lot of people saying that you have the best team. So good
I'm
luck.
pretty sure. Yeah,
you just got to get the most likes now.
Me?
Thing is,
Coach Ed is winning.
I picked up the Messier book.
Coach Ed is 21
again. Coach Ed's at 21. Wow. Okay.
21 likes for Coach Ed.
Well, we still got time. We'll leave the voting open for another week or two as we release these episodes. But the other thing I wanted to start posting is I picked up the Messier book, No One Wins Alone, again, and I found some good quotes. So I think I'm going to throw a few of those up on the Instagram in the next couple of weeks for you guys. Yeah, Cousin Ed's got it over there. Messier, No One Wins Alone, a memoir. Read the first couple of chapters so far with my highlighter on the treadmill, and I found some good motivational quotes that I think I'm going to turn into some nice Instagram posts. So yeah, head on over to our Instagram. If you're just a listener, we're at Rangers_ed.pod. So check us out and like all of our stuff.
And check us out on YouTube, man. If you're just listening in the car, I get it. Listen in the car, I appreciate it. But if you're home working remotely or, whatever, you just put something on in the background, check us out on YouTube. We do a lot of visual stuff. You get to see our Ranger rooms. Mine's a little messier than Little Ed's. His looks a little better, but that's because he takes the time. He organizes which cookie to put in his shadow box. He frames his pictures and stuff. I just got a bunch of stuff everywhere.
Well, it doesn't look this clean about 5 minutes before we hit the record button. Let's put it that way. I scramble every week to hang stuff up and move stuff around behind me, but there's usually a ton of stuff all over the place. So
yeah, but you know what you're doing, man. Look at that red stripe on that Ranger wall there. That's it's coming out of the wall. You're hanging stuff on it. What is that? A piece of wood?
No, that's
turn to your left.
That's one of my printers. So I'm covering it up with some rally towels. But yeah, that is a piece of wood molding. Yeah, that is wood molding. It was it was actually already on the wall when I moved in. So I just painted over it. I left it.
Yeah, so you got that creativity, that artistic creativity. So
yeah,
he's got
if anyone wants their own Ranger room, I'll paint it for a good price.
Oh, dude, show them. Before we sign off, show them the card dividers you made for the card box.
All right. One more thing before we sign off.
You guys got to see this.
Well, yeah, Little Ed's workshop is coming soon, so everyone keep an eye out for that. But I guess I have to show the.
You're gonna have to make that a segment because you're always making something.
The plan. I just actually have to pull it off. So we got the card box.
Trading cards.
Trading card box, and I made the actual individual dividers, burnt the Rangers team or the Rangers jersey numbers and names, so you're able to put the trading cards in between each one. So I got my Rangers box for all the Rangers players and put all those cards in there, and then I made another blank box for all the NHL teams, and I've been working on some of those. So I got the Dallas one. Cousin Ed's favorite one was Phoenix. Let me see if I can find that one, or Arizona.
Yeah, that one came out
awesome.
Yeah,
the Kuchina Coyote. So yeah, I got.
I just said it's going to be a collectible. In 3 years, when they're in Kansas City, you're going to have that, and you're going to be like, "Wow, remember when I made this? They don't even exist."
I got all the Kansas City. I got all the Metro done except for the Islanders. I got most of the Atlantic done and most of.
You're not going to make an Islander one?
Saving it for last.
Do you need one? Who are you going to
Probably
keep? What
not.
Islander card would you keep?
Probably
Sorokin?
none of them. Maybe like Barzell, Sorokin, something that might be valuable. But
So then just make a Sorokin one and just make it Sorokin and put it in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my current main project right now. But yeah, I guess like Cousin had said, eventually I'll have a little segment and some of the stuff behind me I made and some of the stuff you see in the room I've made. So hopefully soon in my spare time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We're just boring the fans at this point, talking about ourselves.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
Nah.
Any good TV shows you've been? No, get it. No, let's get out of here.
Yeah, actually, I've been watching Suits. Actually,
I told you about that years ago.
And Theo
Succession
turned to
is
me
good.
last night. We were watching Suits, and she goes, "So let me get this straight. We're lawyers, and then we come home and watch a show about lawyers." I was like, "Yes, it's exactly what we're doing."
It's probably so far fetched to you guys, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's far fetched to me. Maybe
I think it's relatively decent as far as accuracy. Some of it is somewhat accurate.
Because I remember texting you years ago when I was watching it, and you were like, "Yeah, I don't watch that nonsense." But now you actually watched it.
Yeah, I like it. I was wrong. I admit. Listen, I flopped
Because it had Flop, another
Yeah.
one on TV shows.
You got to keep track of the flops. I'm not going to keep track of my own flops. One of you guys are going to have to start writing them down. You know.
We're at like 10 at least.
No, you can't just do that. You got to keep track. It's got to be exact. Anyway, all right. So,
Coach, we missed you.
I'm off to St. Thomas on Wednesday, so I'll be gone for like 5 days. So let me know what we're doing. What's next? I'm gonna be off the grid as much as possible.
I think the next big thing on next big thing on the schedule is the start of the rivalry tour. So keep an eye out for those. We got the Islanders episode coming up, the Penguins, Devils, all the Metro teams most likely. So
yeah, we got to find a
stuff.
good connection with Washington because I really want to hear what Caps fans have to say this year, especially with Ovi approaching Gretzky's record.
Yeah, I got to reach out to some other podcasts this year for the fans, make some more relationships.
Yeah, I would volunteer to help you do that, but then when I fail to, I don't want you to get mad at me. So I'm just gonna either do it and not say anything, or I'll just let you do it.
All I'm looking for is the effort.
All right, well, I love you guys.
Note,
yeah,
love you guys.
Love you guys. Have a good night.
Great interview, fellas.
All right,
let's go Rangers.
Bye.